Whizzy Wizzy Wizards, and welcome back to the Pursuit of Happiness with me, Pigtail Gurl, your friend and fellow traveller. And I've got a little bit of a nit to pick, she says, scratching her hair. You'll have to excuse me as well today. I'm a little bit recovery mode, I have to admit, recovery mode. It was my anniversary last night, and me and my husband, we went out to like an adult party for a long time. After a long time, I should say. We haven't been out for a while, so I'm a little bit tired and hungover, I should say, today. Yes, I do sometimes like a few champagne bubbles in my glass. But that being said, and that to the side, it skews the background as well. If I blur it out as well on Zoom, it blurs half my hair out and I look really weird. I go in and out of dimensions, so I'm just leaving the background in. Yeah, today I wrote a post on Facebook about a woman who friended me and who she's claiming this to get followers on her Facebook page and to get adoration and fawning and all kinds of compliments, claiming that she channels the angels and that, they talk to her nonstop. And it all started with this medium who had messages for her from Archangel Michael. It's always Archangel Michael, right? Gets around. And then she started hearing voices talking in her ear. And when she told them to shut up and go away, apparently they got very upset with her and were basically, no, you're going to have time. You've got time now. And but didn't care about her free will or what she wanted. And enforced her into hearing their voices. This is in her own words. I'm paraphrasing, but what she was saying in her post. And also, they're flawed humans just like us. They drink alcohol, they smoke cigarettes, she was saying, and she was saying all this nonsense in her posts. And of course, my BS meter, my alarm's just going meow, 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 immediately. As soon as anyone tells me that they're channeling the angels or the ascended master, my BS meter always goes off, because it is really, in my genuine experience, that's just really not a thing. And what these people are doing is hooking into lower astral entities, but they just don't have the wisdom to realize. They're so enjoying that little rush of something that it gives them and their little ego boost, that they don't want to let it go. They don't want to look into it and say, oh, should I really be listening to this voice? Or that they just love, they can get 30, 40,000 followers on Facebook, easy peasy, when you tell them, that kind of nonsense. And this really gets my goat. So I did a little post on it about how, ridiculous it is. And why I do those posts is I like to try to teach people how to not fall for BS. Now, my spiritual path is all about the truth and empowerment, and how by knowing the truth, you become empowered. Now, this realm is full of distraction. From the minute you're born, you are born into an inverted matrix that's been overlaid our true matrix, our divine matrix. And what that false matrix tries to do is invert you. And from the moment you're born, it has built systems to distract you, because the one thing it wants you to do with your power is, 1, waste it, 2, not even know it's there, 3, waste as much of your time as possible. Because while you're wasting your time listening to nonsense, thinking you're on your spiritual path, and idiots on Facebook are like, oh, you can't say anything negative, that's just their path. This is what got my goat. Some woman commented on my post, oh, you're just being negative. You need to ask yourself why you need to point this out. You're just in your ego. This is so low vibratory of you, blah, blah, blah. These people to me are just an instant delete. It's just like, I don't even know what these people are even thinking. So, I mean, I'll give you an example. I go to the dentist. He's a fraud. He scams me. He gives me fillings that I didn't need and makes me pay for them. Then after I realize I've been scammed, and I realized that actually I had nothing wrong with my teeth, but what he's done now causes me discomfort and pain, wasted my time, wasted my money. Now for the rest of my life, I'm going to have to live with the impacts of his actions. It's just an example. And I know this has happened to people. So this has happened to me. What do? I know my friend now, or the lady on the bus, is saying they're going to go to that dentist. Do I warn her and try to help her and say, look, I've been through this BS. let me share my wisdom and experience with you to save you having to go through the pain I'm suffering. To me, that's my spiritual journey. To me, that's my high vibratory behavior. Is if I can warn someone so they don't waste their time, they don't have to go through trauma, they don't have to be a victim of something, then I see it as my duty as a fellow human being to do my best to do that. So I'm going to come up to you and I'm going to say, oh, you don't want to go to that dentist. Let me tell you about what happened to me, right? Nothing low vibratory about it. Nothing, oh, you're in your ego. Ego is just such a thrown around word, like some insult. Ego is just your awareness. It's just the thing that makes you human. So yes, my ego wants to protect. Yes, my ego wants to protect others. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not an insult. I claim that. I claim that I've got my ego and my higher self and all different parts of myself. And I love them all holistically. It's a complete package of who I am. And there's nothing wrong with being a warrior who wants to defend others, because sometimes your guardian angel is coming in the form of a human being. Now, if someone can save you 5 years, 8 years, 20 years of wasted time, where you are giving all of your precious energy from this lifetime and your power away to a channeler, a cult, a con man, a system that's really built to distract you, suck your power from you, and keep you from actually becoming potent and powerful and able to do anything positive to change this world. While you're distracted with that BS, the minions are not distracted. The minions are getting on with what they're getting on with every day. You know, they're doing their 8 hours work and they're minioning. They're doing their 10 hours work. They never sleep. They're minioning away. They love their minioning. They don't. While you're wasting your time in delusional thought patterns, listening to some woman telling you Archangel Michael's telling her, oh yeah, they all smoke cigarettes and drink and get drunk, allowing you space to do the same, to let's say to you, oh, it's okay, you know, to be full of addictions. The angels are like that too. They're not judging you. You know, in a way, it's, yeah, no one's judging you. You can do what you want. You can drink, sure, you can smoke cigarettes, but it's just, it's not going to do you any help with your power. Because one thing I know for sure, and now I can't say I know everything for sure, I certainly don't know the truth and everything, but one thing I can really honestly say is that addictions drain you of your power. And why they do that is because they have a control over you. Now, if you were to drink now and again, like I do, and it's not an addiction, it doesn't have a control over you. If you can go out and not have it, then it's not an addiction. So, you know, in Tantra, there are a thing called the taboos, which are alcohol, marijuana, herbs, things that alter your consciousness. They're called the taboos. And that's because you don't use them very often. Now, for most people, most humans, who think they use teacher plants, or they're smoking the MJ, or they're doing whatever. For a lot of humans, they do it too much. If you're doing it every day, or you have to have it weekly or every weekend, if you're doing things where you have to have it, this is draining you on some level of your power. No matter how you wrap it up, it's healing for you, whatever. If you have to have something and without it, you suffer, that is something it's like being in a codependent relationship. So, you know, I've had many chats with angels and guides. I don't name them. I don't claim they're archangels. I don't claim I'm coming here with a message from them to you. I'm not trying to sell myself on that level. I'm just saying, as part of my journey, I've had communications with other beings. I only say this to help others on their path be guided. And they have always guided me away from abusing substances. They would never encourage me to smoke cigarettes, as an example. In fact, they've always encouraged me to stop my addictions, and to stop allowing things to have a power over me. And they've shown me that anything I allow to have a power over me that I believe I need, that's an external thing, is taking my power away from me. And all my guides and angels have ever done is just try to show me how powerful I am and give me the tools so I can change reality, so I can be a warrior and help sort out some of the crap that's going on this planet. They've never said to me, don't sort out crap that's going on the planet. They've never said to me, don't point out stuff, don't get involved. I've never had that on my spiritual journey. And in fact, those times when I was under that delusional new age idea, it was all a spiritual bypassing, where I could just have a break from looking at the negative, because I needed that holiday, you know, that soma induced holiday from it all. Because after a while, trauma gets too much. You need a little holiday from it. It's nice just to ignore it all and have a break. and then tell everyone they're being super negative when they try to look at anything that's fucked up in this world. But sadly, there's a lot of fucked upness in this world, and it needs looking at, and it needs sorting out. And as many people who can be, if you can prevent them from becoming distracted with nonsense, the better, because things are going sideways at the moment on the planet, have been going sideways for many years, but we have an opportunity to get out of this quagmire at this time, a great opportunity. But the opportunity will be wasted if people's time and energy and focus is being wasted on distracting nonsense, which is what I'm trying to call out. I'm trying to say to you, don't allow someone to rope you into listening to their nonsense that they're prattling on about from the entities they're talking with on the astral realm, telling you it's Archangel Michael. Then you get distracted 5 years down the line. You've been following someone, but what did you do? What did you do with your time? Did you stand up? Did you defeat any of the minion energy of what's going on the planet right now? You have that power. You can do stuff right now to change reality. Were you changing reality, or were you just distracted? Right? Because that is the way the minions work. The minions love you to be distracted. They love you. This is one of the reasons I gave up DJing. People say, oh, DJing, love it, great parties, why'd you give it up? It's because I realized that yes, it was great, but one, I was just really enabling and encouraging people to get drunk, get high, distract themselves. Back in the day, I needed distracting. I distracted myself. I'm speaking from experience. I've spent many a year distracting myself from all the negativity to try to heal myself and give myself space. But, the time for distraction is over, guys. Really, the time for distraction is over. The critical time it's here and now. The power is always in this moment and now. If we distract ourselves again for another 5 years and we don't claim our power and we do nothing to face the negative things in reality, instead of bypassing them and thinking someone else comes, cleans it up for you, instead of facing it and trying to do the shadow work, face the bad things, warn someone, don't leave your kid with that babysitter. That babysitter has a reputation for dealing with kids. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, I'll just watch that mum give her kid to that babysitter. It's all perfect. It's just their path. If her kid gets molested, well, that's just her destiny on her path within eternity. It's all perfect in this realm. That's all some bullshit. It doesn't apply. Doesn't apply. You warn that woman, you protect the child. That's called being a true warrior, guardian angel. What's the point of being spiritual if you don't use it to do anything to serve humanity, to benefit anyone, to save them that trauma that maybe you had to go through? So, it's not negative to look at something that's causing harm and say that is causing harm, right? This is, people don't want the tough love. People don't want to be told, yeah, that thing that you're doing to yourself is draining your power and it's causing you harm. People don't like that. They want you to fill them with all the, Angel Michael said that, yeah, you can just smoke cigarettes. He smokes cigarettes. You can just do whatever you feel. It's all perfect. And, we're all going up, up, up. And you don't need to worry about anything. It's all taken care of and you're perfect. Everything's perfect. Everything's wonderful. Does this world look like everything's perfect and everything's wonderful? I mean, I'm not perfect and everything is wonderful in me, and I can see that, and I'm always working to try to correct it. And if I can help someone not go through some of the terrible traumatic things I've been through that have then wasted all my time having to heal, 15, 20 years of wasting all that energy on healing. Yeah, some people may say, oh, well, it's not wasted because now you can heal others. But yeah, again, wouldn't it be wonderful though if we didn't all need all this healing? Maybe I could do something even more wonderful with my abilities rather than having to even spend time doing all this healing, right? We spend so much wasted time. It's like having to recover rather than building what's new, what's to come. Maybe I could be building stuff. Maybe I could be doing something else, but instead I'm focusing on healing myself, healing others. I'm getting a bit of a frog in my throat, sorry. But this is it. This is what they do here. From the minute you pop out that womb, it's distraction, TV, alcohol, drugs, sex, entertainment, religions, dogmas, belief systems, brainwashing, schooling systems. Oh, you've got to get a mortgage, pay off your debts, but keeping you in debt is a great way to keep you distracted from your power. I would wager a bet that a lot of people on this planet are not fulfilling their missions or life purposes like at all right now. I would imagine so much of the population is distracted with worrying what's going on, trying to survive, paying their mortgage rather than mastering some power of wizardry they have in themselves. You know, they're just trying to master getting their bills paid this month. And I would think a lot, or I've been shown a lot of human potential is going to absolute waste here. Anyone who thinks everything's going fine into plan, it really isn't, unless the plan is that, yeah, we are going into utter chaos and being distracted until we all wake the fuck up and realize that this distraction is just all wasting our time. And maybe, yeah, in the whole scheme of eternity, that's a plan. Maybe we had so much time to kill, we want to distract ourselves and waste our time and let minions take over everything for a while. But I'm actually really sure that's the case. I think it's kind of up to us. And some of the things that occur is just through our doing or lack of doing. It's not some divine plan that's absolutely written in stone that, oh, in this reality, it's going to be A, B, and C. I think there's many, many, many different timelines, and we are making choices through the timelines, and then the timelines are going to different versions, and we know that it's getting edited, so there's many different versions of the timelines. We're only one of them. Who's to say that we're not on one of the really crappy ones where we're all going to shit and we're all distracted? And maybe there's better versions of the timeline where people aren't so missing all their life missions and so eager to be distracted by every little bit of bullshit that appears on their social media or their YouTube page, or they're just so willing to follow channelers for years and years and years without ever accessing their own power. Who's to say that, yeah, we're not on like the booby prize version of Earth right now? You know, people assume that we're on the greatest, the best one. We're so egocentric, or like, you know, our timeline centric. Our Earth is God's finest creation, we're told, and we're the center of the universe, some people believe. I don't really believe that. I think that we're just part of the chaos, the ongoing ordered chaos, and we are whatever we're all creating at the same time, like a mass manifestation of our behaviors. So if we're all distracted, we're going to end up on a planet where minions easily take everything over, because it's like, look over there. While you're looking over there, someone's nicking your drink. That's what I see going on down here. So that I'm going to keep calling that out. I'm going to say, don't look over there, because if you look over there, that dude there is going to steal your drink. Because that's my spiritual path. That's who I am. That's my journey. And if anything, the thing I see about angels, no, I don't see them as drinking, smoking, human-like beings, but I do see them as warriors and strong entities. I don't see them as beings that always just turn the other cheek and ask you to do nothing. I think a lot of the time when humans take action, that is the angel in your ear egging you on, and then they will join in and they will help you with whatever thing you're trying to do to help you progress, but they're not going to jump in and just do it for you, right? They're not going to jump in and do it for you. So anywho, that is why people ask me sometimes in very negative ways, why are you being so negative and all in your ego, just putting out that poor woman who thinks she's channeling angels? Well, no, maybe that poor woman needs to hear the hard facts. That's the entity on the astral plane. That is not Archangel Michael. That is not an angel. People following her, you're all wasting your time. That is all the ego bullshit. What's going on her page is helping no one. And it doesn't help you to be distracted from your path by 20, 25 years. Another example, it's like, I can give you this as an analogy. You're a woman. This is an analogy of your spiritual path. And, you know, the best years of your life, where you can get the most done in your most potent, your childbearing years. You date this guy, he promises you this, that, and the other. You're really enamored with him. You hang on every word he say. You give everything to him. He takes all your childbearing years from you, promising you this, promising you that. Yeah, you will get married next year. Yeah, we'll have kids. Yeah, we'll do this. Then just when you get to like 38, 39, he drops you. And then he marries a 25-year-old girl and has kids with her. You know, but at this point, you're really too old to start all again. And you've just lost all your best, most potent years. And now you've got to try and start again. And now your chance of having a child is practically nothing. I mean, and if you do, you're going to be an old mum, which isn't easy. So you could have had, you know, if someone had warned you or stopped you having all that wasted time with that dude, you could have had all those things you were looking for and wanted. But because you were innocent and you fell for some bullshitter and you didn't have the wisdom or any good friends to warn you and tell you, yeah, this guy's wasting your time, you need to throw him to the curb, you know, tell him, If he's not having kids by, by the time of this age, you've got your biological clock and that's what you want, then maybe you need to get rid of him and get on with someone who's willing to have the kids with you. If that's really your dream, you want to get there. It's like someone who wants to really get to the end of their spiritual journey. They really want to get there. What they don't want to do is waste 20 years of their time going off their path into distraction, entertainment and distraction world, giving their energy, feeding something else that's like a vampiric energetic. That's the very opposite, actually, of finding your power and being, all paths ultimately may lead you around to the big path, but some can really take you on a massive detour. And while you're on that detour, minions can take over and destroy things. And I mean, it does happen. As far as I can see, Mars used to be a planet and it's not anymore, meaning a planet that sustained life. It used to do that, but as far as I can see, it doesn't anymore. So the idea that, planets just go on forever and there's nothing that can ever end it, it's just all wonderful and perfect and rosy in the end, there's just this happy ending that's definitely written. I'm not so sure. I think a lot of that is distraction. A lot of that we are told, and it stops us taking action. Distraction stops us taking action, which means we're always being taken out of our power. And if we're living in the dark ages, and we can say most of what we've been told is to keep us away from our power and to keep us enslaved, then I would want to do the opposite of the things that they try to push into my brain, like it's wrong or bad. So like point out something that's negative or judge someone for their behavior. Right? It's different when you're just standing in judgment over things, but you can judge. You can say, yeah, no, this babysitter is fiddling with kids. That's wrong. She needs to be put in jail, needs to go, don't give your kids to her. That's something you need to do. Those kind of judgments are necessary for survival. And I don't think that you're being a good person if you're not willing to put yourself out there and try to save other people from stepping off the edge of cliffs, as it were. Now, of course, people don't have to listen to you. They don't have to listen to you. No one has to listen to me. Like I say, you don't know what I'm saying. You don't have to listen to me. You can just switch pages, delete or block me. I'm not asking you to be my friend. I didn't ask you to press the friend button and become my friend, or you don't have to read my posts. It's all cool with me because that's where I'm all cool with that. You go off, do your thing. You want to go and distract yourself, waste your time. 20 years later, you might come back and go, oh, Pigtail Gurl, now I understand what you were saying. I wish I hadn't just wasted that 20 years of my life. I'll never get it back, right? Because that's the thing. The time, you never get it back. You can't go back and get that time. It doesn't work that way. You've lost that period of your very short lifespan that you have here, and then you have to forget again and come back around and try and do it all again. So I think now is the time to start getting ahead of the game. Getting ahead of the game means we need to stop allowing minions and the minion network of everything being inverted trapping us into distraction that takes our power away. And now you don't have to believe in anything I believe or any dogma or any story. You don't even have to believe angels or aliens or any of that stuff. You don't have to believe in God. But one thing you need to believe in is your own ability to get stuff done and your own power to take action. I mean, if you don't believe in that, then what do you believe? I just sit here trying to give people tools to their own power. Like, you don't need all that bullshit. Here's your power. So if you're going to sit on my social media page, tell me that that's negative and that, that's your ego. You're so low vibration. Expect to get instantly deleted and blocked me. I'm not even going to have a discussion with you and try and correct you. I'm not even one of those people who needs to try and educate everyone. You can come on my page, read what I want, watch my video, or you can go on someone else's page and get lost. And you can go and follow that lady who's telling you Archangel Michael's encouraging you to smoke cigarettes and get drunk, and that he's doing that himself, and that's cool. No, go and follow her. Go and follow her. Go and buy a book. Go and give her your money. Go and waste 5 years of your life. Do it until you wake up by yourself. Yeah, there's that path. You can go the hard path. You can go the wasting your time path. I've been down that path for a bit. And you know what? I wish someone had called me off it sooner. When I got hooked into the whole new age dogma, I wish someone had been there to explain to me straight, look, dear, when you start going through an awakening, what happens is there's all these other traps that's there waiting to pull you in, waiting for the people who want to turn their backs on the Abrahamic religions. There's all these other like fly traps waiting, and they want to suck you in. And those visions you've been having, and if someone could have helped me understand how visions work and how you can have negative downloads and true downloads, I would have saved myself a whole load of delusional thought processes and and wasted time. And I might have come into claiming my power and using it to benefit mankind and myself against the minions much more quickly. And imagine if everyone was coming into their power much more quickly, we might not even be sitting here having to deal with a minionitis outbreak. This is what I'm trying to tell people. We are dealing with a minionitis outbreak because humans are not standing in their own power, and they are being distracted from it. They are wasting their time, and they love it. They love wasting their time. In a way, humans love this distraction matrix. It's entertaining. It makes them feel good. It gives them a dopamine hit. It gives them a little rush. I don't want the negative. The negative takes me away from my dopamine hit. You know, and then of course you can have people who are addicted to the negative and drama. And of course, too much negative focus is also not good. But you've got to have the balance of each in reality, because we live in reality. Reality is both good and bad. It's both pro-freedom and anti-freedom, pro-life, anti-life. Is something trying to end life on this planet, take everyone's rights away? I think that means the time is here to claim your power and stop being distracted. In another 5 years, might be too late. Another 5 years from now, everyone claiming their power might be too late. That's what I'm trying to say. The idea that there can never be a too late, or that everything always just turns out okay in the end, I'm not absolutely certain that that's the factual truth. I'm not. You know, ultimately your soul might get recycled and end up going somewhere else. But will this timeline and this planet necessarily have a happy ending? I honestly think that's down to us. I think that's where the free will comes in. I think it's up to each of us. I think some worlds will make it, some worlds won't. That's what I think. You don't have to believe that. But that's honestly where I'm at with it, in the whole scheme of things. So it's never negative to point out scammers, liars, deceivers, time wasters, deceptions. I think that's handing people their power, and that's what you're always going to get here with Pigtail Gurl, my darlings. So got that little bee out of my bonnet, that little nit to pick out of my hair. Yeah, spiritual bypassing, trying to ignore things that are bad or negative and think that it's negative to speak about them. This is how bad people get away with doing bad shit. That's literally how minions have taken over this reality and got away with it for so long. So, my dears, don't ever think you're going to censor me, because you're not. And I will love you and see you on the next episode of The Pursuit of Happiness. One love.